Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining another LeadSquared webinar. So today this session is primarily for folks in the higher education sector, but like if you're not from there, then you're most welcome anyway. Good to have you here, lots to learn like always. So we are focusing on the publisher partners for this particular session. So essentially what we're doing for higher ed is, every month we're going to be taking up a particular piece that is relevant to higher ed marketing, and we'll be talking on that. So in this month, in January, we are kickstarting with the publisher partners. That's the focus of the topic today, identifying the right mix. I have with me Dushyant, who's been a part of LeadSquared for a while now. So we will come to know more about both of us, because I'm also a speaker at this session. So before that, maybe I want to just take you through some of the things we will be talking about. So we are, of course, looking to identify and invest in the most profitable publisher channels. So essentially, we'll tell you, the importance of it, how you can really get it going, and then it's really up to you to identify what's working for you and what isn't. We would hope to try and help you gain complete transparency on the leads from publishers and partners, the role of automation in all this, how crucial is it, and how does it ensure that every marketing dollar is well spent. Finally, I will tell you a thing or two about marketing for higher education in 2022. So just keep this in mind. This is the agenda for the day. So if you already have questions coming to your mind, please put them up on chat and we will take it up. Now let's hear about our main speaker for the day, who is Dushyant. So Dushyant, please tell us about yourself, your experience in the domain, and of course, about a little bit about your time at LeadSquared.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you for the introduction, Shibani. And welcome everyone. Thank you for joining in. And I hope everyone is safe during this third wave in the country. The situation out there is pretty bad, but I hope everyone is doing safe right now. A brief about myself. I've joined LeadSquared about 7 months back. I am leading the education related initiatives here along with my team. That basically means I'm working to develop the LeadSquared product, which is best fit for the education industry. We like to call it as the education CRM. And I've been a part of the education and the skills training industry for the past 11 years now, working with both private and government institutions. And I think I have a fair amount of idea how things work in the education sector, and looking forward to utilizing this experience so far, and making this a better journey for all, both LeadSquared and our partners.
Awesome. Thank you. Since I am a speaker today, I will share a few lines about myself. So I've been a part of LeadSquared for a while. Those of you who follow our webinars would have joined a webinar maybe at some point in the past where I was around. So yeah, it's been about 8 years, I think, and I've sort of touched upon every aspect of marketing. I joined as a content writer, and now I am branching out to events, ebooks, uh, webinars, of course, partner marketing, US marketing. So yes, that's why I think I can share a thing or two about marketing today. So I think that's enough about us. Now let's dive straight into the topic. So let me just take us through that. Right. So I think obviously, Dushyant, we can't really get started without talking about what's happening around us, without talking about the impact of the pandemic and its repercussions.
Definitely, I would call it's not, I wouldn't call it as an impact of the pandemic now. That's the way of life is now, and I guess that will be the way of life going forward as well. We'll have to live with it, and we'll have to evolve with it. And education sector per se is also no different. Every industry is being affected right now, and so is the education sector. All the various teams, all the various channels, all the various stakeholders in the education sector are in some or the other way being affected by this pandemic, and they found out ways how to evolve and come out of this. And for example, not only the students, how they take admissions, how to go to colleges is something that has changed over the time, but how the admissions team at colleges, how the marketing teams at colleges, the administrators, the management teams, how they work has changed completely. The pandemic had forced us to work in silos where one team was not aware about what is happening in the other side of the things, and plus it had become difficult because in a but in a scenario which was before 2020, we used to work in an environment where we could step into somebody's room and understand stuff and talk to them about it. But right now it was not possible, or we don't know in what situation these people are. So we had to rely on technology on to give us the best insights and make a cohesive environment so that all the teams can work in tandem. And hence, I guess that's where LeadSquare also is right now, trying to focus upon trying to bring a cohesion between teams by introducing technology, so that all the teams, whether it's admissions team, counseling team, marketing team, or the management team, they can get into a single picture and understand what is going on for them and what is best for them.
Absolutely. As I was mentioning earlier, I've also have been having conversations with a lot of higher ed folks from the US market though. But essentially, education is education regardless of the region, and everyone has the same, everyone has the same concern. So we're just looking at a tool now that can help us work remotely. That's it, and digitize the process so we don't have to rely on paper, we don't have to rely on people physically being there. I remember having this conversation with Trikochi University, and they were talking about reports and how they were relying on this member in the team to get that report, this member in the team to get that report, and now it's so much easier with LeadSquared because you just have it on your system and everyone has access to it. So yeah, I think basically going remote and going digital is really the way forward right now.
Absolutely. So the idea was, see, in any case, each process has people dependency on that, right? But to add technology to it, it further enhances the process and helps us work together in a better manner. And that's the entire idea at LeadSquared. That's what we are trying to solve at LeadSquared for the education sector.
Sure. So now let's take a look at how we are really solving that problem.
Sure. Let's. So in fact, right now today's topic is majorly publisher partners, but I'll first like to talk about how do colleges, especially the marketing teams, land their leads. How do they capture their leads? Right now, in previous scenario, I would like to call it as pre-COVID scenario, or before 2020. Typical admissions used to happen through majority of admissions used to happen through either walk-ins or cold calling to customers and getting them onboarded, counseling them and everything. But with the pandemic, I think the colleges are now depending upon other sources as well, and not other. So these are the majority of the sources that they lead on to. And of course we've talked about inbound and outbound calls, but when we marry them with an IVR integration, it easily helps us to capture that lead without being dependent upon somebody manually putting it into a CRM, right? Of course, then there are ad campaigns, social media campaigns, or paid ads that we run at Google, and directly through these campaigns, leads can land upon directly into the LeadSquared CRM, which will help you identify, okay, this is the lead that has come from this channel for me, or through this campaign for me. We've talked about, there are landing pages that we have. There are publisher partners. Of course, publisher partner is something that we'll be focusing on the upcoming slides. But there are plenty of other sources as well. For example, chat and messenger is one of the very important point of lead capturing these days, where they just put on a chatbot. The chatbot helps you gather the interest from the lead and understand, okay, what course he might be interested in, what is the region that he's from, where did we fit in it, and then probably capture the basic details as an inquiry and pass it on as a lead to you. Similarly, we have website forms and widgets and application portals as well available with us. Using those, you can automate the entire application journey of a candidate. So the idea here is you can have X number of channels for you to capture the leads. And what the system does it for you, what LeadSquared CRM, education CRM does for you is it'll help you seamlessly capture those leads without creating duplicate leads and giving you a clear picture what channel is working best for you.
It certainly does help us. Being in the marketing team, I know for a fact we know which channels are working.
Absolutely. So yeah, and we are working with those examples only. We've tried it on our own. We've tried it. We have received feedbacks from our partners that we are working with, and this is definitely working for them.
Yeah, speaking of that, I often get that question from prospects, from customers saying, so what tool do you use to send emails? What tool do you use to create landing pages? And I'm like, our own tool.
Everything is in-house. Everything is
Yeah,
in-house.
all our marketing is in-house. If you like LeadSquared marketing, you know where to go.
Of course. Yeah.
Right. So, yeah.
Jumping on to publisher partners, and that is the main topic that we'll be discussing today. In the meanwhile, if you have questions, please feel free to ask them on the chat. We'll be also running small polls. Feel free to answer them as well. So for those who do not understand what are publisher partners, I'll give you a brief description here. So publishers are basically external agencies who do marketing for you. In a typical college or an educational institution scenario, there'll be external agencies who will be running your ad campaigns for you, getting leads for you, and then transferring them. They are basically the marketplace for leads for education sector. You might have heard the names like College Dunia, College Dekho, Get My Uni, etc., etc. There are many partners in this industry, and the colleges and universities and educational sector institutions work with them, and for them, so these publishers and the universities work on different kind of models on how many leads have been passed, in what time duration, how many of them are verified leads, at how many of them actually get converted into an admission or as an enrolled student or as a paid student. So to bring that transparency at both the parties, that's where we brought in the concept of publisher panel, where what we do is, that's what we talked about. The publisher panel gives education institutes a dashboard to view and compare the performance of different partners that you work with. And also, it also helps publishers to analyze different outcomes in real time. They get to know, okay, if they've passed on X number of leads, how many number of leads are actually being verified and working for the college, so that they can improve on the quality of the leads if needed. So, moving ahead. So as I told you, this is a small picture of our publisher panel, and of course there's a detailed page on it, and we'd love to give you a demo of that. But if you see here, there are two views that we give to both the parties here. One is the college one, and the other one is the publisher. Every publisher gets to know, okay, how many leads have they passed on to a particular college in a particular time duration, and out of these leads, how many are primary leads. So there might be a possibility, and there is always a possibility, that a college is working with multiple partners, and these partners may pass on same lead to the college. But the idea is who is passing this lead on to them first, and hence whoever is passing this lead to them first will be marked as the primary lead, and the rest can be marked as secondary or the other leads. Of course, the college would want to go on with lead which has been passed on to them first, and hence it becomes very important for every publisher to know, okay, how many of the leads that they've passed on are actually primary leads and which are actually being used by college. And this gives them the entire picture. Okay, these are my primary leads that have been passed to the college. These are my secondary leads. We also tell them what is the lag to primary. For example, if somebody is passing on a lead which is not primary, which is a secondary lead, but what duration did they pass on that lead to them, the secondary lead, we also tell them about that as well. Another important aspect, I think I'll jump on to the next slide here, which better articulates it. So for example, for educational institutes, what are the key benefits that they can draw out of it? First is, of course, view and compare performances of various partners. As I said, you may be working with multiple partners, 5 publishers, 10 publishers, but you want to know, okay, what publisher is working best for you, and then you would want to spend your dollars on that particular publisher and rather reduce your spend on the other publishers, because they're not giving you the correct data or the relevant data that you might need, relevant leads that you need. So you know, okay, what are the primary leads, what are the secondary leads, what are the verified and unverified leads. You, of course, there can be publishers who, an XYZ publisher dumps you with 1,000 leads a day, but what is it? What is the use of that lead, right? If you don't know whether this lead is actually a correct lead, it's a verified and a valid lead or not, versus somebody who's just dumping you with stuff. So you get to know, though, through this analytics, you get to know, okay, who should I work with, who should I pay more, who should I focus on. Also, it becomes, so since this is a two-way thing, it becomes very important for colleges to hide the leads from sensitive information and the stages of the lead from the publishers. When I say sensitive information, it means basically means you want to you don't want the users of the publisher to know, okay, this lead is a verified lead, but it is still it is still in the application stage, or not initiated application stage, and this lead may land to somebody else, which the lead which is very important for you can be converted easily, but this may land with, say, with one of your competitors, because somebody downloads or copies the information like email and phone number and passes it on to the others. So you can select whether you want to expose this data or you do not want to expose the data. Similarly, there is you can also talk about you can also see, you can hide the information about the application stage of that. So there is another important feature which we might do another session on in the upcoming months, which is candidate application portal, which basically helps you, which helps the candidate to take the entire journey of application, right from starting an application to being enrolled as a candidate in the college. And it is always important for publishers as well as colleges to know what stage a candidate lies in right now, whether he's in application started stage, whether he's in application completed but payment pending stage, payment completed stage, or an enrollment stage. So through this, by marrying both the publisher panel as well as the application portal, you can bring a transparency of application status as well for both the parties. Any questions so far? I'll be happy to answer. I think there are a couple of questions in chat if you want.
Not yet, Dushan.
Okay, never mind. Okay, and for publishers, it has become really easy. It's just an API that they have to use. Using the API, they can simply pass on the leads with information like which course the lead has applied for and what is the priority. So some publishers work upon verifying or understanding, okay, how important or how entrusted that lead is for you, and hence they pass on it as a priority. Now, if a high priority lead is passed on by the publisher, you can attack it first and close it as soon as possible. So the publishers can give you an idea, okay, you need to work on these leads first and these leads on a second priority. That is how the lead priority system works while passing on the lead information via the APIs. Moving ahead. Sure. Here are a couple of, I think there'll be a lot of questions on this, but I think I've captured a couple of questions already, which I think I can answer with respect to the publisher panel. What sensitive information? As I said, you can hide the email ID and the phone number of the lead so that it can't be misused, passed on to other competitors that you may have. What happens if two separate publishers push the same data? So as I told you, it might be possible multiple publishers that you work with will pass on the same lead to you. And here's the beauty of it. We just mark it as primary and secondary, so you know who passed it on to you first. How are the leads marked as verified? So there are two ways that we verify our leads. One is definitely it's either email verification, where we send a link to the candidate's registered email ID that has been passed on to us via the publisher. And if the candidate clicks on that email link, we count them as verified. Or if the candidate registers on the portal, if the portal is enabled here, and if the candidate registers on the portal, we count them as verified. So at the end of the day, you get to know, okay, this is a valid, entrusted lead who wants to go ahead with us, and not a junk lead that has been passed on by your partners. Can an application status be highlighted in the publisher panel? Yes. When you marry publisher panel with application portal, you can display the application status of each candidate or each lead that you have. What is the number of publishers? We simply do not put any limit. You can work with X number of partners. So if you have 10, 20, 15 partners that you're working with, and they are enabled by LeadSquared, you can work with all of them. There's no limit that we place on you. New publishers can be added post onboarding for colleges. Yes. So we don't want you to stay limited to only a single publisher or a limited set of publishers that you work with. If you started adding more publisher partners while your marketing journey for leads, you can add these publishers in the while after the onboarding has been completed or not. The last question is, can the college request for a publisher access which is not available by default? This basically means if we have a set of publishers already enabled on LeadSquared platform, but there's a new publisher that has come up, and you want to add them as a publisher in your party, you just have to reach out to us. We'll help them set up things, and you can add them as a publisher. Definitely, that is definitely possible. I think I have a question from Manoj. How would you compare with your CRM with other leading CRM available? I'm from MBA institution looking for a CM. So hi Manoj. I would like to. I can definitely share you a comparison deck with other CRMs available in the market. But we like to call ourselves as the leading education CRM, and my team would be happy to reach out to you to give you a detailed demo of our CRM and see what best we can do for you on that. Yeah. Moving on to, so when I say publisher connector is not cannot always work alone. You need to have a detailed enabling sales CRM or the education admission CRM to help you make good decisions, quality decisions for your leads, right? So this is how we do it. So at a random day, there can be X number of leads passed on to you. And while you can have big admissions teams working for you, counseling teams working for you, it may not be humanly possible for them to attack all of them at one point of time, and that too immediately. And that's where automations come into picture, where you can set up drip campaigns or engagement or nurturing campaigns, okay, for every lead that lands into your system, every verified lead that lands into your system, and you can keep them engaged. You can send them welcome emails, you can send them brochures of your institution, a video, a small short message from the founder, anything that you want to keep. And on the basis of the engagement that the lead has with you, whether they open the email, they click on the link that you've provided to them, you can set up drip campaigns further so that they keep engaged with you while the counselor reaches out to them to get them converted into an admission. Moving ahead, as I said, verified leads is one of the most important factors that we have. So once a lead is verified, only then you start working, and that saves your time of your counseling team as well, where you tell your counseling team, okay, these are the only set of verified leads that you need to call or target upon, and they don't need to depend upon their gut to, okay, finally pick a random lead and start calling them, and in the hope of getting them onboarded. It's not a spray and pray technique. That's what we do. We help you take informed decisions here. Moving ahead, as I said, publishers always can pass on a priority publisher or a lead priority along with the lead that they pass. You can form. We have something called smart views, which help you define the workspace of a counselor, where you can design. Okay, there is a list that can be made for a particular counsel, which will depend upon various factors like what is the lead score, what is the priority of that lead that has been passed on, from which region that lead belongs to, what language preference they have, and basis these factors, they can a small list or targetable list can be given to your counselor so that they don't waste their time picking up random leads and calling them. Their entire target list, their entire task list, their entire day plan can be made by you, by the administrator, and they don't need to focus on other things. So we talked about, as I just talked about, smart views is one of the things that we have, and using these smart views, you can design the entire calendar, the day plan of the counseling team that you have, and get better results. Also, what you can do is, since you have the analytics for you, available with you, of what publisher is giving you what kind of leads, better leads, verified leads, and if the leads are moving faster towards admissions, so you can specifically allocate a set of counselors to only those publishers which are working best for you, because you know these are the best team of publishers that you have, and these are the best publishers that are passing those leads to you. And both, when they work together, they'll give you better and faster admissions. I think there's a question here, which is how high, what about the SMS? Is that free from your CRM or do we need to outsource this? So to answer your question, Vinayak, yeah, so we give you the freedom of choosing whatever vendor that you would want to work with for SMS. And we have a couple of SMS service providers that we work with, Gupshup, Kalera, and there are other names as well, and we can help you get connected with them. But we leave this to you. Whatever best suits you, whatever best suits your commercials, we can integrate with them readily. Yeah. Power of your own marketing team. I think you would want to jump in. Shivani, you are the expert here. You've been doing it for 8 years now, I guess.
Yes, yes, pretty much that. So, yeah, I mean, I would just want to touch upon the various areas of marketing that has specifically helped us, the LeadSquared marketing team, but also several of our customers. So, I'm just going to take you through that for now. So essentially, this is what LeadSquared does for marketing teams in the higher ed sector, right from capturing the lead to engaging with the lead to comprehensive analytics, comprehensive reports that you can access. So again, like I said, I am one prime example. I've used all of these features. LeadSquared does not outsource their marketing. It's all in-house and it's all done through LeadSquared. So, while Dushyant can probably, share more about each of the features, I think the main features that I use specifically are, of course, creating landing pages. So, you would have filled up a landing page form just to come to this webinar, right? So we create a lot of landing pages throughout our marketing initiatives, be it for ads, be it for signing up for an event, whether you're signing up for a case study, whether you're sharing a collateral like an ebook. So landing pages are extremely important. Emails, I've sent over 2 million emails. So I know the email marketing feature very, very well. And I also, more than knowing it, I actually find it super useful because it gives me the stats I need. I know exactly how much time someone has spent reading the email, what links have they opened, which links have performed better, which subject lines have performed better, which is very, very important, right? A lot of people say that email marketing is dead. It's not. I still use email, and it's helped me so far. And one of the features that I specifically like about the LeadSquared email campaign feature is the reports, rather, is the subject line analysis. So that has helped me. I can also see, which devices people are opening the emails on, whether it's mobile, whether it's desktop. So accordingly, you need to ensure that your email or your landing page is mobile optimized. I will get into that a little later. But before I go on and on, because I tend to do that, I will let Dushyant sort of summarize everything we do for marketing teams, and then I will share a hack or two about marketing in 2022.
No, Shibani, I guess you were getting in the groove, but yeah, I'll still jump in with whatever knowledge I have. Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, definitely. So we've talked about lead capture and lead leakage previously as well, but also I would want to talk about lead engagement via automations that we have. The best part of the automations is you can set trigger-based campaigns, whatever trigger that you have, whether somebody has visited your landing page, whether somebody has clicked, opened an email, or sent you an email, or any activity or task that has been completed against that lead. And on the basis of that, you can set up personalized email or SMS campaigns. That means, okay, somebody has today opened your email, and you can send an email immediately. They open that email saying that, okay, we saw that you opened us email. Hi XYZ, you've opened our email on this date. Would you want to know more about it? Here's a link to understand more, and probably book a slot with us to understand the platform better, or to understand know more about our college. Similarly, you also have a very important feature which we call as lead engagement scores, that tells you, okay, in a given time period, how engaged the lead is with you, basis on various activities that the lead does, whether it's opening up emails, visiting your website, submitting a form, visiting a landing page, x number of activities that you can put into it, and it gives you an idea, okay, how engaged that lead is with you. And then probably you can okay, who to target first on the basis of those engagements, right? We've talked about building engagement journeys earlier as well, where you can set up drip campaigns, you can set up campaigns to for various steps of the engagement that you have. Shibani has mentioned she loves the reports part, but we have something called email analytics. What emails are opening, what headings are working for you, A/B testing, landing page conversion reports. We have drip analytic reports, and then a lead funnel view. Okay, if you've received X number of leads, what stages have they moved on from? They've moved on from a prospect to interested to a demo done to a converted. X number of reports that you want to configure for yourself, customize for yourself, those are available. And of course, since we work with multiple sources and channels, and we'll help you capture these leads from multiple sources and channels, we'll also give you reports to understand what channel or what source is working best for you. What is the conversion per source per channel? That is something that is very important for the marketing teams these days, and I think I'm sure Shivani agrees with it.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Especially now, while we're all working remotely, and there is a budget constraint also most of the time. So you really need to know where you're getting that money from, where that extra revenue is coming in. So revenue analysis, a big plus, and is super, super important. Okay. So these are some stats that my colleague Vivek helped gather. And I just want to sort of tell you now, again, if you don't agree with it, feel free to mention that on chat. I mean, we can have a discussion on this, but this is just some numbers we've gathered. So the average email open rate still stands at about 20%. So if you've got it higher than this, awesome, you're doing a great job. If it's lower than that, maybe we might want to work on it. And yeah, anyone here who wants to reach out to me for any tips on marketing, feel free to. Average WhatsApp open rate is 99%, which is basically that you should switch to WhatsApp for business if you haven't already. Average SMS open rate is again super high. I can in fact tell you from experience, like I said earlier in the session, I've been having conversations with marketing admission teams for colleges in the US, right? And we are doing we're taking up projects just on text messaging. That's what they call it there. So because text message right now is has all the buzz, and it's just the main thing that's working for them. Nobody wants to really have long conversations on the phone, or if you just want to exchange a few notes quickly, yes or no answers, confirmations, all of that is happening via SMS or text messages. Now that's what you see, right? 20% answer unanswered phone calls, which is a fairly low number. So you need to think of smarter, faster mediums to reach out to your prospective students. Now, having said that, I will also, of course, talk about, I mean, I can't probably speak at a webinar and not talk about email campaigns, given how many I have sent. So this is just from my experience. And again, thanks to Vivek, who has helped me put these points together. So emails, again, I mean, this is again from the experience of sending so many emails. Personalization, which essentially is don't say hello, say hi Shibani. That's all. You can even say, add the student's name in your email body. That just helps to personalize the whole matter. Again, there are tools out there like LeadSquared which will help you do that. This is not, I'm not really promoting LeadSquared as such, but LeadSquared helps me do that. And since I've only used LeadSquared, I can brag about it. Make your CTA count. That's essentially, see, now you might have like the best subject line, but if your body and your CTA, if the content in the email isn't great, no one's really going to click on that link and move to what you want them to see, right? So the CTA, the text on the CTA needs to be catchy, it needs to be fresh, and it needs to grab attention. Now, images, this is something that I have seen, but maybe you might think differently. Images don't always work, so don't load your emails with big images because they'll probably land up in the spam folder. Talking about spam, that you'll probably have someone in the IT team who will be able to do the back end work for it. But simple basic things that your marketer can take up is just to have the institute, college, university address at the footer. Just have it at the bottom of the email. You must always have an unsubscribe option in your email. Again, responsiveness. I think we talked about how a lot of people are switching to mobile, WhatsApp open rates, SMS open rates. That just tells you that everyone is on mobile now. Everyone's checking their emails on mobile. So if your page is, be it website, be it landing page, be it email campaign, if they're not mobile responsive, even an ebook, even like a placement brochure, right? If they're not responsive, you're already losing out on a lot of prospective inquiries. Have a good nurturing sequence.
I would just want to jump in on
Yeah,
point five, Shibani. Just that
sure.
since the leads and the people that you are reaching out to are working on mobiles all the time, and you would want to be responsive to them at all point of time. I would just want to chime in that LeadSquared also has a mobile application which gives you nudges. Okay, this is the best time to reach out to somebody because they are opened your email, and you can directly from your phone reach out to them without needing to open a laptop page or a web page, and directly call them from your mobile app itself.
So there you go. More reasons to buy LeadSquared. So yeah. So coming back to a good nurturing sequence. So it essentially means, we talked about automations, right? So automation can help you do that. Now, very simple example that we have shared is if someone is just checking the placements page of your website, right? That means they are clearly interested. They have shown interest. They want to see where they go post college, right? Where will they fit in after that? So that automatically tells you that maybe you should set up a series of emails going to them. Automatically do this, have a system that sets it up for you. Automatically send them a series of emails about, let's say, the big placement offers some of the students have already got. What is the alumni up to? They passed out from your college, now where do they work, right? So those sort of details will go a long way. So again, just setting it up, it's a one-time process. You set it up, whether it's looking at program details, whether it's looking at placements, the campus, you can just set up a series of emails correlating to that, and I'm sure it'll go a long way. Now, coming to website and landing pages, now these are two different things, right? Your institute website is not the same as a landing page. A landing page is a subset of the website. So an example would be, you have forms on your website where you capture student inquiries, right? So a student will come, they look at your website, there's a place to fill up a form, and they fill up a form. But that is not the same as a landing page. A landing page is a dedicated page about a specific offer that you're trying to sell or promote, and it focuses mainly on that. So an example, again, classic example is today's webinar, right? You signed up via a landing page which was focused on just the topic of this session, just this webinar, right? But it didn't tell you everything that LeadSquared does. So that's exactly my point. So a landing page would be talking about all the course details, when it starts, what does it cover, etc. But your website may have all the other courses or programs your institute offers. So that's the example for having targeted landing pages, because they really do perform way more than your generic website form. A website form will just say name, email ID, phone number, just to contact, right? A landing page, you'll have room to sort of add more about the course, add more about the program. Now, student testimonials, I mean, it's as simple as buying something on Amazon, right? I don't particularly go ahead and buy anything without looking at reviews. Same thing, a student is probably not going to go and so obviously there are some institutes which have gathered this trust over the years, but a lot of other institutes, student testimonials is like the best way to really build trust. Again, mobile responsive, I'm not going to go over that again, but that's, you just need it. That's all I'll say. There's no like maybe should I, you just need it. Exit form fills. So this is basically a form that pops up on your screen. You may have seen it in a lot of websites, when you're trying to leave the page and a form just pops up, or if you're scrolling up and down and you spent a certain amount of time on a page of, a form pops up. So that's what we call as exit form fills. And again, they are a really great way to capture details. So someone is trying to leave the page and then the form pops up saying, hey, why don't you leave your email address, and we'll share more details about the page in question. So that's a great way to capture lead details again. I think with that, I have come to my best practices, but then, so if I have to add to this now, again, I think in terms of ads, which I have not put down on paper, but then in terms of running ads, I do know that Instagram and Facebook is the place for students these days. has been for a couple of years now, actually. So if you're not investing in those channels, I would strongly suggest you do chat. I think Dushyant mentioned chat bots earlier. So chat is another option for you to really connect with your audience. Because see, the generation behind me, I think, I won't say my generation, but then we're all about text messaging and just sending short messages and emojis and quickly responding to things. So chat is your best friend right now. Implement it for your website.
Plus, with the attention span these folks have these days, I will call them these folks because I don't relate with them. I'm in my mid-30s now, but yeah, with the attention span these folks have these days, I think the chat portion is something that works best for them because they only talk to the point, submit the information, and move on.
Absolutely, yeah. So yeah, I think to put it in a nutshell, so now you know where we can help you, all the things we do. I think if you are him, basically, if you are Mahesh, who is struggling to sort of cope with the madness that marketing brings to the table, figuring out budgets, ROI, marketing channels, there's just so much going on, and you're just tired of it all, and you need someone to help you arrange that mess, then this is where we can take you. LeadSquared Marketing Suite. Try it. Yeah, it's just makes your life easier, and it's marketing made easy, essentially. Yeah. So I think I am done with my bit also. Dushyant, we will see if we have any questions.
Absolutely.
Yeah, if you guys have questions, please ask. And if you don't, then I'll just assume you've understood everything. Yeah, we've done a great job. So.
But feel free to drop in your queries right now or maybe later. You have our email IDs. We'll love to answer you, set up a demo for you, help you understand what more can we do with a proper functioning of things. We can do that for you, definitely.
Absolutely. So I think I'll probably call out a few. So Neeraj, yes, we will share the required link with you post this call. I think Mohammed, you want a demo. So yeah, we can set up that demo for you. Manoj, I think, Dushyant answered your question. I also saw a question about, I think, emails, or was it landing pages? Bhanwar, yes. So I will reach out to you. If you email me, I'll certainly reach out to you. And Vinayak, we did reach out to you about the SMS. So at least we've spoken about that. So I think we've covered everyone who had questions. If you haven't responded to the polls, please take a minute to do so. We really want your feedback here. So please let us know there. Is there digital marketing ads available with LeadSquared? I'm not sure if I understand your question, Banwar, but again, I'm happy to share samples of what we've tried and what has worked. So yeah, I think Vivek's also responding to that. So I'm happy to share examples, I think, of what has worked for us. Yep. So I do not see any more questions coming in.
I guess we explained stuff and people have understood, and I'll take it as a
compliment. I always take it that way. Yeah. All right then. So I don't see any new questions coming in. So I am going to end our session. There's one last one. Okay. ERP companies have issues in integration. How do you handle it?
So we've been integrating with all the major names, Callpol, and there are other names that we have. I'll be happy to share them with you. But we've been integrating with them, and we don't face any major issues. But if you would want to discuss these with us, I'll be happy to take a session on it with you, or have a one-to-one conversation with you. I'll definitely can do that.
Sure.
So our APIs are well compliant. These APIs, when integrated with the ERPs that are setting up at the education institution side, the data flows seamlessly and everything is taken care of.
I think Banwar's question, is it possible to do digital marketing through LeadSquared? So to answer the question, Banwar, you will still have to write your own campaigns, write your own copy, write your own content. So our tool helps you create landing pages. It'll help you, create email campaigns, but the content would still be something that you'll have to do. in-house. I hope that answers your question. If you want to add something with that, Dushyant, please go ahead.
So Dr. Shailendra says we have Fedena and had issues earlier. Sir, I'd love to take this one-on-one with you, and maybe I can reach out to you. My team can reach out to you after this call, and we can understand those issues and probably help you on how we can solve them. Definitely.
Sure. Okay, cool. Let's call it a day then. I think everyone's happy, and I think, yeah, I'm quite happy. I took a webinar after a long time, so it was quite refreshing for me as well.
Great. I guess thank you everyone for joining, and please stay safe. And it's another couple of weeks, I guess, and we'll be done with this third wave, and hopefully this is the last one.
Yeah, seriously. Everyone, thank you so much for joining in and giving us your time. Take care, stay safe, have a good weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.